nothing.
Oh, that's my mistake. I forgot to hit the button. Yeah. Good afternoon, guys. Welcome back. Good afternoon, Peter. Can you hear me now? You should be able
I
to.
can hear you now.
Yep. I hear you.
I feel
Good.
upset. I didn't have my intro music.
You didn't have the intro music to
phone
cue
there.
you in.
Yeah.
I hear you, man. I hear you. All right, guys. Welcome back. Hopefully, you had a great day so far. Peter, I'm still in Intel. Let's do this. I'm still in Intel. Let's see
Are
what
you
happens.
really?
This is the longest trade ever, man. Longest trade
Good
ever.
for
So
you.
this should be fun. But it's not. It's. So I had to walk away for a bit, do a couple of things. I left the order at 2180, which was probably too much. So I put a range order, and we got close, 2155. But yeah,
Can I
it
just
just
say,
doesn't move
don't?
that much.
This is going to be like telling you not to think of pink elephants, but don't look at PLTR then. You
No,
don't wanna look-
I saw it, but I won't look at it.
Yeah. Poor guy, man. Yeah.
It's just awesome, guys. Like this ticker here is it's incredible. It's become one of my new favorite stocks. It's gonna be on my usual suspects list because
Yep.
this stock is
told you.
it's just awesome.
Called it.
Just awesome. You did, you did. Just incredible. And I called it pre-market. Like this is one I want to watch, and somehow, some way, managed not to trade it. Good afternoon, Brian. How you doing today?
Good. Good. Speaking of PLTR, still have a little bit of a swing trade there.
Nice.
Good.
It's paying off
From
pretty
last
well.
week, yeah.
Very nice.
Mhm.
Excellent. All right, friends. Good. Hello over on YouTube. Hello to our members as well. Jared can't make it today. He did send us some information, and I was reading in it, and it's like reading another language with the stuff he knows there. But we'll share some of his thoughts as far as Google and Intel. Maybe Brian can help us out with some of the suspected moves. Nevertheless, guys, let's get to it. Today we're talking about Google and Intel, obviously two big companies that are reporting after the close. Peter, give us some insights on both of these here.
Well, let's, where do you want to start? We actually have a few things. T-Mobile actually is also reporting as well. But let's start with
Yeah.
Google. We got it on the screen. Why not? Let's start there. It's the big one that everybody wants to know about. Look, it's a little bit of a mystery as to how Google's going to report. No reason for them not to achieve their numbers, despite all the stuff we've been talking about and tariffs and that. Their international business should largely have been unaffected. So, really, we're thinking that they should be able to hit their revenue. Forecast revenue is somewhere around 89.2 billion, with earnings of about $2.02 a share. That's what I think that they're going to get, or at least what the analyst consensus seems to think they're going to achieve. So, I can't really see anything that's in the way for that. What will be interesting, like a lot, will be two things. One, are they going to continue their focus on AI? Because prior to all of this tariffy stuff, right, that's what we wanted to see out of our tech stocks. How are they driving revenue from AI? How much is AI getting incorporated into their business? What's their investment model? That was a big thing that people were making future-based pricing decisions on the stock on. And then the second, more immediate, of course, is what are they going to say about tariffs, if anything? They, of all, almost, I can't think of another US-based company that is as global as Google and has such a diversified revenue stream that should be able to largely, sort of not have a significant tariff impact. So my guess is they're going to be fairly quiet on it and are going to stick to their forecasts and maintain their guidance. That's what I think is going to happen, but I could be wrong. If they don't, we could have a big market reaction, not just on the stock, but on the market overall. So we'll have to see. It'll be interesting right after the close what happens. You notice that compared to so many other things that have really had big days today, Google's moved higher because the whole market's moved higher. But if I look at it, it doesn't look as robust of a move higher as a lot of its, compatriots, a lot of the other stocks out there that have been moving today. So I think it's sort of waiting to see what the earnings are going to give us. So that's the big picture on Google. I'm very cautious after hours trading. It is not one of my favorite ones to try and trade after hours. It can move. We've absolutely seen it move significantly. But then again, when I think about that, Brian, like you probably remember this, it used to be like pre-split, when Google used to like go insane after hours. Like, it would do nothing all day, and then after hours you'd get these multi-$100 moves.
Yeah, exactly. It
So,
did.
so
It did trade well. With this pre-split price was much higher, so you
yeah,
had bigger swings, obviously.
right.
But
So
yeah, right now it appears we're kind of pricing in about a $10 move. So what does that equate to at a bucks 160? It's not a big swing. Um, so I will say that there are a lot of contracts. I would say there's more open interest number of contracts written in options, um, expecting an upside move. So biggest option uh, open interest is 10K, 11K, up around 165, 170 area. So those are where I guess some of the people are betting that we're going to go higher here after the close. And Peter, I guess the only downside, I guess, or the only issue that I see with Google is they are relatively ad dependent for their revenue. So um, if the economy is slowing down, then advertisers tend to pull back on their ad spend. So it's probably one of the risks.
yeah, and that's a good point. I mean, we wouldn't see that as an impact in their current quarter, being that, of course,
No,
those numbers from looking backwards. But you're right; that could affect their forecast. That being said, this is just me being a little facetious. It looks like all of their ads are being bought by Temu and Chinese,
yeah, yeah,
so maybe they
I
don't have to
know.
worry about that. Anything they'll lose out of
Yes.
the downturn in the North American economy is going to be sucked up by China. It looks like.
There you go. Yeah. Well, that is certainly one thing for sure. Alphabet does have some regulatory issues right now that they're dealing with as well. Um, there's some DOJ stuff going on with them, so
Yeah,
I
they've
think
always
they
got
want to.
some of that going on.
But that's always been an ongoing thing for them. So yeah, it's going to. I think guidance is going to be interesting for Google for sure. I suspect that our initial numbers, the numbers that come out, will probably beat. That's what I would guess.
Hmm.
So just and when you look at if you look at the daily chart on Google, we do have sort of a pretty significant area of resistance here around 160, 161. So it doesn't. We're not very far from there now. So we punch through that, and then easily sort of 165, 170 is definitely areas where it could go to after the close. Um, as far as downside goes, there is a gap to fill here around 151, 150. So we gapped up yesterday and continued higher today. So left a bit of a gap, an unfilled gap there from that would be from Tuesday. So kind of interesting couple of ranges here that we may want to keep an eye on as we get those earnings numbers. And when are they coming out? Is
Right
it
at
right at
4.
4, or do we have to wait?
Yeah.
Right at 4.
No,
Okay.
sure.
So we'll see the market reaction. We
Yeah.
are sitting pretty close to
Actually, I
high
think
of
it's
day.
405 maybe. Now that I'm looking at it, but
405.
yeah, it'll be tight on there, one way or the other. 4 or 405. It's funny because I've got GOOG and GOOGL listed. GOOGL is listed at 4, and the Goog without the L is listed at 405. So
Yeah.
it's
We'll call it five of
Or
403. 403
yeah,
for
yeah. I
for
mean, it's
for
the
2 with
same set of
30
numbers. I'm not
seconds.
sure why they've got a different time on that, but
yeah.
anyways.
So
That's great.
Of course,
You know what is hilarious is
Google
that
has.
there's a lot of variance of opinion out there on Google and where it's going to go. In terms of the numbers, I'm just reading a lot of these stock twits type information, and of course, everybody's very reliable there. Of course, right? I mean, Carlos
Uh,
trades. Carlos
absolutely.
trades here in stock twits. Is that you, Carlos? I don't know. This guy, Carlos Trades, says that expect it to rip. Google's going to beat their numbers. Whereas,
Let's see if
John
he's right.
Anthony says Buffett is already sold. There's no higher, opportunity left. Mr. Garfield says it doesn't smell good. It's going down. And of course, this one has got to be reliable. It says you better load the F up. They're going to cause the biggest ripper you've ever seen in a mega cap. We USA, USA, USA. That's the post here.
Yeah.
Love it, love it.
Posted by the ever reliable Boobies999.
Beautiful,
So-
beautiful.
Yeah,
And these guys
there
have,
you go.
again,
Probably
nobody has any idea what's going to happen. And I'd rather play the reaction than anticipation around these day trades. I mean, it's just, that's a losing game, man. Be careful, be careful.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about social
We
media
are
is
still-
often reading the people's comments because they make me laugh because they're all over the place.
Oh, it's the best. The comments are awesome. If you watch a reel, the first thing I
And
go
they-
is I
and-
look at the comments and see what's happening.
And the memes too, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can't do without the memes.
Can't live without
So,
memes these days.
yeah, so again, looking for about a 7% move, and that's been the average. The average has been about a 7.1% move over the recent quarters. So
Yeah.
again, we've got some interesting. On Monday the 14th, there was some interesting options buying, 14,000 contracts at 215, which is wow. That's somebody's expecting a big move there. 215, man, that would be
Which one is that one, Brian?
that would take us. What's that?
Which one is that one that you mentioned? On which ticker?
Google. Yeah.
Oh,
they ta-
215.
Somebody
Ooh,
went out and
that's-
bought 15,000 contracts. Now I don't know if they've already liquidated those. That was over a week ago now.
That was so out of the price.
How
That's why I
about-
asked you what ticker, because I did not think somebody would have that for Google. That's aggressive.
Yeah,
but,
I know. That's
We'll
crazy.
see. We'll
That's
see.
all time. That looks like it's certainly a high from the last year or so. Anyway,
Yeah.
the high that we hit back in February, beginning of February, was 207.
Yeah.
So they're
Now-
really. I can't believe they're gonna blow things out of the water that much.
Yeah.
We should mention
so-
that
yeah.
Google's not the only one with earnings. There's a couple other companies out there that have earnings after the close. I mentioned T-Mobile. We've got Celestica, and we were talking shoes in the room. Skechers also reports after the close. SKX, in case anybody really wants to follow Skechers. But the big one I think that we also want to talk about is Intel. Intel expected to report right at 4 o'clock. They're looking to deliver about $12.3 billion in revenue in the quarter, and pretty much flat on earnings. So earnings per share of zero, nothing, as far as I can tell. Unless that number's wrong, it seems suspicious. But what's interesting about this one to me is I think it's going to be the news and the rumors. Yesterday there were some rumors coming out that Intel was potentially looking at cutting about 20% of its global workforce, which seems like a surprise in that they're doing that. But I don't know. I mean, that would affect over 20,000 employees being laid off if it is 20% of their workforce, because I think they employ about 100,000 people right now, and that would certainly be a big impact. Now, that is unconfirmed as far as I can tell. I haven't seen anything formal from the company, confirming nor denying that, but there's been a couple of reports suggesting that's going to happen.
There was already they already cut I think was it 10% of their workforce. It was about
They did
a
about,
month or two
I don't know
ago.
when that was, 4 or 5 months ago. Yeah.
That was when they had that
So
pop, I'm sorry, that was it a pop? Because actually it was good news. I think it was, right? I don't remember.
Correct.
So we'll see.
Now, again, in this market environment, is that going to be seen as good news or bad news? Because, of course, we know that the push from the administration has been to bring jobs back into the U.S. Intel has been, one of the ones at the forefront of putting together this consortium of building a chip manufacturing plant onshore. Now, that being said, it's not, like chip manufacturing. It doesn't actually employ that many people these days, right? It's a very automated process. There's going to be a lot of people involved in the construction, design, and build out. But once that's set, the factories are relatively low, low employee to square footage ratio, as far as I'm aware. But anyways, what's more important is in this earnings. Are they going to talk about it? Surely there's going to be questions, when they get to, discussing what their business plans are. It'll be interesting to see what management says, because they do also have a relatively new management team, right? I think this is the first earnings report with their new CEO on board. And that would be quite a statement to come out and say, yeah, we're going to lay off people. Because I think the last layoffs were under the old management, old CEO, I believe. If I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
So anyway, that'll be probably more interesting than the actual numbers. The expectation is Intel should probably hit their numbers. Again, like a lot of companies, what are they going to do about guidance, right? Are they going to hold it? Are they going to pull it? That we'll need to find out once they give us their data.
Yeah, if it's bad, pull it. If it's good, say we're on track. We're on track and getting around the tariffs. That's the answer to that. So it's your chance to pull out get out of jail free card on any of those earnings. So
watching the markets here, my 1 to 10, by the way, and it's we got a spike to new highs on a lot of stuff. Interesting.
Yeah, I was going to say this was your one to trade here, Peter. We got kind of a spike up on the SPY and now a pullback.
Hard to trade this when it spikes to a new high of day. Unfortunately, that's not a reliable way to.
Nvidia did the same thing here. Mm-hmm. Spiked and dropped.
Yep, I see that.
So we look to see if we get a continuation now higher after this pullback.
We'll definitely see. Over on YouTube, guys, hit that thumbs up. We really appreciate it. And subscribe. So we do this at least once a week for major earnings. So we got a couple of the Max 7s this week and some other ones coming up as well. So just subscribe and you'll be notified when we go live. But these earnings are fun. Again, I don't trade earnings themselves, but I love watching them. And I'll definitely be trading at least watching Google and Intel again tomorrow and see if there's any opportunities there. Did we talk about the expected move on Intel, Brian? Did you mention that?
Yeah. Intel. Let's take a look at Intel here.
Oh, look at the pullback though.
We're getting a sell-off. Yeah, no rush. We're getting a little bit of a sell here.
Yeah, as far as Intel goes, pricing in about a 10% move here, which is a little bit more obviously than Alphabet.
Yep.
10%, so about $2 either way.
Let's take a look at.
And Jai was nice enough to send us some charts as well. This is from earlier today. This is on Intel, so he did mark some stuff for us there. So good for him. He couldn't make it today. He got some stuff that came up, but you can see there same thing about $1.75, $2 on Intel, and Google same thing you were mentioning.
I think Jared wanted to go out and grab some crawfish.
That's how he's doing.
You're convinced that's what he sort of munches on every day.
Yeah. He ran out. He had to run.
Yeah. So we're looking at about $1.60 on. Look at how things bounced right back there. Tesla bounced back. SPY bounced back now after that pop and drop, and now we're back again. So we're looking at about a $1.60 move. which is not quite 10%. Again, probably 7 or 8% range. As far as open interest goes, some pretty heavy open interest right around 21 and 2050, as well as 20. So maybe a bit of a bias to the upside.
Yep.
We do have
Peter,
some 20 strike puts on the downside here, about 13,000. It's a big one.
Yeah. Peter, I was going to ask you,
So-
did you find anything for your close there or no? Nothing showed up.
No trade for me. Again, it would have actually been an option as it pushed higher to the high of day and then pulled back to get a quick short on it. But I don't like trading things off the high of day like that. So short answer, no.
Yep. All right, let's see. We're getting a push here. I'm still in INTC, so we'll see where it goes. The question is, should we hold through earnings or not on this position? That is the question. But it's probably going to be no.
I go by my swing trade rules, and I don't like to hold through earnings.
It's just never know.
Stocks through earnings, but basically the consensus estimate for Intel is pretty much a break even, or at least about a 3.2% year-over-year decline in revenue, and about a 2 cent per loss share EPS.
Yeah, no,
I would say
I'm definitely kidding. I'm not holding this through earnings. Even if the implied was just $1.75.
There is more of a bullish slant to this.
Yeah, this is $1.50, $2. It's not a lot, but why risk it? Why do that? It's a gamble.
Yeah,
you're gambling.
Yeah. So we got a little less than 4 minutes to the close, or a little more than 4 minutes to the close here. And PLTR going out near high of day. By the looks of it, same with Tesla.
Yeah, PLTR. It's just awesome, man. This stock, incredible day today. So it's got a few of these lately. It's putting some really nice days in here. So we'll watch it again tomorrow.
Happy with that one.
Yeah.
PLTR has been pretty consistently on my watch list for a couple of weeks now.
Yeah, yeah. For a couple of weeks, we've been always seeing some really good action out of it. They always get great volume. Like even on days they don't do nothing, they always have great volume. So joining our group of our usual suspects.
It's definitely up there.
All right, so just to recap, you said Google, Peter, is at 4. Well, actually, I remember now, 4 and 405. So we don't know yet. So just right at the close.
We don't know.
Yeah. And Intel, I forgot. You did mention Intel. What's that?
4 o'clock should be right.
4 o'clock. So they're both right there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you have your 1 minute alarm to the close? Because I'm going by that to get out of Intel.
I don't, but I can let you know.
No, I'm just kidding. I'll get out here shortly. It's looking good. Getting a nice little pop here on Intel. Again, just this stock did nothing for us today. But we are getting a nice move up here, breaking through the high of the day. So should be a good pop here. All right, what else we got, guys? Anything else? Any other earnings besides these two that are, I know there's more, but anything else, Peter, that maybe we haven't gone through yet?
Well, I mentioned a couple of the other ones. Probably not really worth talking about. I don't expect a lot of volume. T-Mobile might be interesting, but not to trade, just for the commentary to see what they, what they do, what they're offering, in terms of market sentiment and their perspective on growth. Their competitors were a little over the place. We've been talking about them over the last few days. This morning was. Wait, no. Who reported this morning? No, it was yesterday, right? That we had
one of the Verizon or something. I think
Verizon,
it was yesterday.
AT&T.
Yesterday. Yeah.
Verizon BA.
Tuesday, AT&T yesterday. So, or AT&T today. My God, I'm losing track of the days. Anyways, yeah, it'll just be interesting to see if they have sort of a similar commentary as their competition, or if they take a different perspective. It was Comcast this morning that I was thinking of. That's why it wasn't coming to me. Remember the
someone
CSA?
traded Comcast. Yeah, someone. I think it was it Lenny? I think Lenny traded Comcast.
He had it on his list. I don't know if did he actually take a trade on it.
I think he did. I thought I saw which kind of surprised me because I didn't think Comcast would be that great a trader.
It's not
but
typically that great of a mover. So
no. So we're going out here. Where are we going out? Yeah, Intel's got a pretty solid. It's got a pretty solid support level at 19. So and that's quite a ways away from.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get ready to sell everything here on Intel, because I'm not gonna hold this through the close. So yeah, so all out on Intel, and yeah, probably one of the longest trades I ever made.
Nice.
It's got to be up there.
There you go. Last 10 seconds.
You held
So time
Yep.
to jump out.
Held
Look at that.
that one,
Well
eh?
done, Carlo.
right to the bitter
Definitely
end.
out. Yep. There's the bell.
Yeah, that's it. All right. So 2 o'clock. We'll see what happens. Intel. Maybe you'd want to hang into that just because you get a pop. But it is higher risk.
Yeah. Oh well, now that I'm out, it's gonna go to like 22.50.
Maybe,
you know,
yeah,
that's
but-
usually how it works. If I would have stayed in, it would have dropped to like 18, right? So they would have announced some shakeup or something. The market has a very weird sense of humor at times.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, so
It's not
far,
worth,
nothing. I'm gonna have to leave you guys to the earnings, as I mentioned. Unfortunately, I've got to run. So
Yeah, go for it, Peter. Thanks, man.
enjoy
We'll
it.
see ya.
The numbers should be
Thank
out
you, Peter.
soon. Check Benzinga. For those of you that are members, Benzinga will give you the news as soon as it's available. So
Yeah, we're looking at here. I'm looking at Google right now to see if it's gonna come out. Is it 4 or 405? But they're moving up now a little bit. So yeah, we'll check it out.
You're
seems like
getting
it's
a
not
bit of
yet.
a bid
Hasn't
there.
quite bounced yet. Anyways,
Look at that, and this is why.
Ah, Carlos,
through
look at that.
earnings,
Yeah,
baby.
good
Woo!
All right.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Carlos, you can. Well, we'll see where it lands, but yeah, it looks like those numbers,
Ooh, that's so bad.
initial numbers, don't look. They don't look happy. Google's
They
come
sure
out
don't.
with their numbers now. It's popping a little bit.
All right, let's see here. Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? So, for example, like we're looking at Google now, but speaking of Intel, you got that drop and it comes back, and it could go higher, but are you going to be able to hold, through that risk, right? Oh man, that was
a bit
fun.
of a pop there on
That was fun.
on
Look
Google.
at that. That's a $5,
Again, we
$6
haven't
pop.
really reached any of the expected moves yet.
Yeah.
See what.
This market is just
Yeah.
unreal.
Intel's trying to hold on to that 21 level.
Yes, Google pushing. All right. Waiting for the numbers to come out here over on Benzinga. Once we have it, I'll let you know what's going on. But Google seems to like what they're hearing. And these lawsuits and these things and these punishments, I mean, they're like a slap on the wrist for this company, right? I mean, it sounds like a lot. It'll be like $700 million. Well, they did $700 million like in 2 months, or in a month, just in one division. That's how much money these people are pushing through. So it sounds bad, but it doesn't really affect them as Google continues to push higher here. All right, so I got Intel's number. Let's see what they did. Intel beats, but not by much, just slightly. So expected was 1.3. They beat by 1 cent. Estimate sales was 12.6 billion, and they beat sorry, and sorry, they beat by 12.6 million, so almost 30 million looks like there. This thing
Yeah.
shifted on me, so I lost the number. So what did they not like here on Intel? I can't understand. Well, let's see what else
Yeah.
as the rest of the data comes out.
I guess they what was the earnings per share on
Earnings per
Intel?
share. Oh, I lost it because all like we had a lot of earnings, so it's just flipped on me here. Earnings per share was 13 cents.
Oh, okay. Well, that's actually better than expected, I think.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I read it as good news, but again,
Um,
I don't know what else is
well, and
behind all of this.
that's why I told you, that's why I told you, it's never, I don't think it's a good thing to hold through earnings,
It's
especially you had it,
not. Yeah.
it was a day trade. You don't want to
Yep.
turn a day trade into a swing trade.
Yeah. Here are Google's numbers. So EPS $2.80 beats by $2.01, and again, more earnings coming out. And sales also a beat as well. They were expecting 89 billion, and they got 90 billion roughly. So nice, nice, doing the numbers well here.
Yeah, so
So
they did beat on the bottom line on
yeah,
earnings per share.
yeah. All right, here we go. So, it's just a question here. Yeah, you can trade after hours. You can do a market order, right? So you do have to sit on the limit order. There's ways around it. You could set up your hotkeys where you have a marketable limit order. So there's ways around it to get to just use a hotkey, but you can't just hit the ask and get out. When you want immediately. At least with interactive brokers, that's the way it works. Some
Yeah.
brokers do have
Well,
regulations.
so Google's now pulling back from that those little bit of euphoric high there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that was pretty much, I think that was pretty much the expected move
Yeah.
on Google. We did say sort of 165, and then 170 was where the areas to watch for, and we did what did we get to? 169.41.
41. Yes. I mean, it's right there.
Yeah,
It's right to the penny.
yeah. Almost got to 170.
Yeah. Yeah, mental
Looks
game. The
like
expected move on Google was $10, so near $10, right? So they're
yeah,
they're right on it.
it was about 7%, about $10.
Yeah.
So got pretty close, got right up to that expected move, and then pulled back there.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. Obviously we've got the follow up, the earnings calls. So to the earnings calls. So see, I think as long as they don't say anything too
Crazy.
negative.
Yeah, they should be fine. Again, just goes to tell you, this market is so resilient, man. It's wild. We've
Yeah.
seen that in the last 2 days where there's no real major headline that's positive, and they just are finding a way to move higher, right? Just talks about positive things, but no actual, at least not that I think of, no actual confirmed moves that help the economy. So we'll see. I think just people are sitting on too much money, Brian. People like you and Andrew, and they got to put that money somewhere.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what's going on. They can't sit. They can't
Well,
just sit on cash. So they're seeing these prices on
yeah.
some of these stocks, and they're thinking, there's a couple of months down the line, this will all be handled. Let's jump in. So, but we're
I
enjoying
think
it.
there's a little bit
We're
more.
enjoying it.
There's a little bit more. There's more retail traders involved in the market than there has been. Sort of, if you go back pre-pandemic,
Yeah,
got a
yeah.
lot more retail traders, and maybe the market isn't quite as what you would call orderly. Wow,
Mm-hmm.
Intel's really
Intus.
taken
Yeah.
a bit of a beating here now.
Taking a bloodbath, man. Look at this. As low as
Yeah, it's
1981. What? Wow.
60. Yeah, this is about the expected move right here from that 2150 down to 20.
Yeah.
So there's your expected move on Intel. So I don't
There
know
it
if
is.
something else came out
Yeah,
about
that's
that.
what I'm looking for, but I don't see anything else on Intel right now.
Oh, I think somebody just posted their guide was horrible.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Now we start getting the guidance, and that's what really is going to
Yeah,
drive
so
things a little bit
started
here.
their
Yep.
guidance.
Yeah, yeah, not good. Um, Going back to Google here. So, oh, wow, Google's holding, and it looks like it wants to retest those highs now. So that's pushing higher here. Anybody trade this thing again? I don't trade earnings. I'm gonna enjoy this tomorrow. But anyone in any of this action, usually Jared and Peter are the ones that are always taking stabs at these plays. But I don't have an edge on earnings trading. So wonder if anybody else is doing something.
Yeah, it's kind of harsh.
Yeah,
So
something for just
kind
watching.
of so Google's volume is starting to taper off a bit here again. We'll just I didn't don't know if there's any guidance yet for Google.
Let me check here. Not yet. At least not on Benzinga at the moment. So no guidance yet. I think we're in for another great day tomorrow, guys. I think we really are. So looking forward to that. Tesla a little push towards the end there. PLTR just dead right now, so will be fun tomorrow as well. Amazon. All right, maybe now we do have
Yeah,
their
I'm
guidance. Let's
just
see on Google.
just looking to see if there's any other news here. What else did we have for people reporting after the close here?
T-Mobile
Um,
dropping here down quite a bit as well.
okay.
So that's not good.
Yeah, we've got Intel and Alphabet. T-Mobile is another one. Some of the gold companies, Anglo and Agnico Eagle, and Vale
Yeah.
another miner. We have Skechers.
What's the ticker for Skechers? What's that one? SK.
It's a good question.
I don't know what that ticker is. Skechers. SKX. Okay, got it. Here it is. SKX. Okay, so they reported they got a drop here as well. So
Yeah, they've been they're part of the retail sort of consumer discretionary
yeah.
trade. So yeah, SKX, T-Moose, or T-Mobile,
Yep.
Intel dumping on earnings, and Google up. So that's kind of the way things are shaken out here today.
Yeah. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, so Skechers was 7.4 expected move. Sort of, I would say, more oriented to there. I think the Bears kind of had the odds-on favorite for the move, which looks like they were right.
Yep. So question TD is
And right now
yes.
Google's sort of pulling back a little bit here. There doesn't seem to be many orders sitting out there. Volume's really starting to drop off here. So
Yeah.
I think we can wrap things up.
Yeah, because we're not going to be trading these until tomorrow, anyways. At least I won't.
No, I can't.
But
Yeah, I just
I want
find
to
these
get it's a heart attack on a plate.
too much of a
Nah, I love
crapshoot.
watching them. I love watching them, but
Yeah.
I like my morning trading session. Question here from TD,
Yeah,
which is a good one.
exactly.
So, are these moves being made by actual people on earnings? Yeah, there are people here trading this. You got algos as well. The
Oh
initial
yeah,
stuff is always the computers, right? They're always going to catch everything much faster than we will, right? But there are some heavy retail traders that that are in this, right? With some big accounts, maybe some firms, but yeah, these are actual real people with computers as well.
yeah.
So believe it, believe it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah,
It's
there's.
crazy. Yeah.
I mean, it's a mixture. I would say it's a lot of retail. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
if I look at the Google time and sales right now, there's a lot of 10 shares and 2 shares,
Yeah,
50
very low.
shares.
Mm-hmm.
Those are retail traders.
Yeah. Because
So
remember, the big volume, these guys need volume, right? They can't be dumping huge orders on the stock like with this type of liquidity. They'll kill themselves on it with the spread and everything. So, yeah, there's a lot of retail traders trading this year.
yeah.
So,
So anyway, all
so
right,
yeah.
Carlos.
Yeah. Brian, thanks for joining,
We'll
man. Appreciate you.
yeah, no worries. We'll see y'all in the morning, Friday. Yet another Friday. We'll see how the
Yeah.
week ends. Kind of we're up in a bit of a selling range, what Thor would call a selling range
Mm-hmm.
on the SPY. We've really kind of retraced um, a lot of these losses, kind of bit of a
Yeah.
bottom and then a higher low
Yeah.
on Monday.
Yeah.
And now we're kind of back up to some area where we had prior support,
Yeah.
where we broke down from. So we'll see if this 550 area on the SPY will be an interesting area to see if we break through tomorrow here.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Looking forward to it.
all
Should be
right.
another fun day.
Yep.
Guys, take
Should
care
be
on
another
YouTube. Thanks
interesting day.
for joining us. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe if it's your
Yep,
first time here, and we'll see you for the market open, guys. Have a great one.
for sure. Yep. Have a good night, everybody.